Hey guys, this is Chris Jones, your host for the Beyond Local podcast. Today, I am honored to welcome back Mark Diamond, the head of paid media at lseo.com. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks, Chris.
Today, guys, we're going to be chatting about the Snapchat ads platform, and I am so excited. For those of you that follow me, you'll probably know that I recently interviewed the general manager and director of Snapchat, Matt McGowan, and we really dove deep into why Snapchat is relevant right now and how it potentially could become like the platform a decade from now for how people use their mobile devices. So we're going to go ahead and peel back the onion. But before I dive into today's interview with Mark, who is equally enthusiastic about Snap ads, right?
Definitely.
Cool. Before we do that, let's go ahead and just establish why this should matter to you. Couple things. 229 million daily active users on this platform, 4 billion snaps per day. Over 75% of Snap's daily active users engage with augmented reality every day on average. The total daily time spent by Snapchatters watching Discover content increased by over 35% year over year, and that was in the first quarter of this year. The total daily time spent by Snapchatters watching the one product they have called Shows more than doubled compared to Q1 2019. And then finally, and most importantly for this discussion, ad revenue has more than doubled year over year, which suggests that advertisers are flocking to the platform. But you still believe, before we dive in, that Snapchat is this sort of opportunity of a lifetime potentially for certain advertisers, correct?
Oh, there definitely is. And just to further on that, I mean, there's 203 million daily active users, and they spend over 30 minutes on their phone on Snapchat a day. And not only that, but 75% of people from 15 to 35 are on Snapchat. So it's a great way to target that specific audience. But more specifically, Snapchat reaches 90% of 13 to 24-year-olds in the US, which is more than Facebook, Instagram, and Messenger combined. So there's definitely a lot of reach if your business is targeting millennials and Gen Z. So it's definitely up for debate of like if you should use this platform or not.
Yeah, and if we still don't have everybody's attention, $1 trillion of direct spending power of millennials and Gen Z. So these are younger people. So what is that demographic again?
So it's 15 to 34 or 35-year-olds. 75% of them are on this platform using it daily.
Okay, cool. So before we start chatting about the platform itself, how are people using Snapchat? I remember it a couple of years ago as this app that allowed kids to send pictures they probably shouldn't be sending in an ephemeral kind of way where they just expired or, basically were deleted after 24 hours. But I think I know the platform has matured significantly. So how are users engaging with Snapchat?
Totally. I mean, that's definitely where it started. I remember in 2012 being at Penn State, and that's literally how everyone was using Snapchat and talking about it that way. But basically the way it's evolved now is, people are using it day to day to keep up with their friends. They're playing with augmented reality, which is an awesome feature there, even for the ad side. And they're using it to get news and entertainment from the app. I mean, you can go to your stories. You could see a curated list of specific companies that are giving you news that are most likely to be in your interests. So they're getting news. They're hitting up their friends. They're playing with augmented reality. There's a lot of different options there.
One of the things that is true about Snap is that, Matt McGowan described it as a camera company, as a mobile camera company. So everything that happens on Snapchat happens within a mobile device, correct?
Totally, 100%.
Yeah, which is super interesting because all of the trends in advertising, including Google being a mobile first index, point to this idea that advertisers need to be thinking about how they could get into the pockets, if you will, because that's where the phone is, of millennials and Gen Zers. So, okay, so we chatted a little bit more about, what Snapchat is. how is it, again, different, if you will, from Facebook and Instagram?
Totally. So there's two main functions of the Snapchat platform as far as the ads are concerned. Really, you're driving engagement, and then you're supporting your sales funnel. So as far as driving engagement to your website and such, there's a lot of different stuff you could do. One, there's app installs. If you have an app, it's a really great way. People swipe up. They can see a little preview of your ad for the app and install it right then and there. Really simple. Next, you could drive traffic to your website. So again, they're swiping up, or they could see your ad on like a story. They click on it and they go directly to your website. Then there's also video views. If you're more into the branding side, say you have like a new store opening and you really want to promote a video of like the new store, you could send out that ad and really have people watch that ad and engage with it on that platform. The flip side of that is it supports the sales funnel. So if you're in e-commerce, this is like a huge opportunity, in my opinion. There's two main things you could do. There's dynamic remarketing ads. So again, this is similar to Facebook, Instagram, Google. You go onto a website, you see a product, and then that product is going to start following you around. Well, this is just another platform for it to follow you around on. You could be hanging out on Snapchat and you see the product. If you're really interested in it, you're going to go back and complete the sale. The second way is the catalog ads. Mm-hmm. So this is expanding upon the dynamic ads, where dynamic ads is traditionally just like maybe one product. The catalog is going to show you 4 or 5 different products at the bottom of your screen there, and an overall picture that has a general sense of what the products represent on it. So really, there's the engagement part. They could interact with your brand, go to the website, do whatever you want them to do to get that brand awareness. But there's also that support for the sales funnel to ultimately get them to convert into a customer.
Mm-hmm. Super interesting. In preparing for this, and I know you recently published a post
Yep.
on the LSEO blog that will be included in the description so people could click it and read your post.
Yep.
But in preparing for this, and really candidly getting inspired after the Matt McGowan interview, it reminded me of some of my early days as an affiliate marketer. And I remember the early days of Facebook ads. Mm-hmm. And there was such an advantage to being an early adopter, one of which was the cost, right?
Definitely.
So for folks that are watching us right now that are like, hey, I'd like to take advantage of Snapchat ads. Do you think that that's the case right now, that there is this opportunity that won't last forever, where the competition to get that inventory is going to be lower cost than it will be, say, 6 months or 18 months from now?
Definitely. So basically all these platforms base it on CPM, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. Really, one way that influences CPM is how many advertisers are in the space and what they're willing to pay. So the more advertisers who are willing to pay more, the CPM is going to go up. Right now on Snapchat, from what I'm seeing, it's cheaper than the Facebook. It's cheaper than Instagram. So right now is definitely a good time to jump on it.
Yeah, I think the case is made. I love social advertising, and I love what social ad platforms like Facebook and Instagram and others have done for advertisers, particularly around targeting. The way that I describe it to small business friends of mine when I'm talking to them and trying to make the case of how powerful social ads could be is that the amazing thing is you have almost complete control over who sees the ads geographically, demographically, etc. So let's chat real quick about because that plays out on Snap ads.
Yep.
So what are some of those targeting options that Snap makes available for advertisers?
Definitely. So I'll start about 3 years ago. I was messing with Snap ads, just really trying to find out. We had we had a white label client, so third party. Wanted to invest in Snap ads and really find out what was there. So 3 years ago, we were messing with this, and the targeting options weren't the greatest. They were limited. Compared to right now, it's a complete 180. So right now it's very similar to all the other social platforms, specifically Facebook. We're able to target based on website visitors. So there's the remarketing option that's based on the pixel. Snapchat has its own pixel. You could upload email lists. So again, that's really important for the e-commerce side. If you upload a list of your previous purchasers and then hit them up with another product ad or something along those lines, you can make lookalikes of the people who been to your website or the email list. There's different custom audiences. You can do that based on different interests and behaviors, which we saw on Facebook work extremely well. And then there's also the regular demographics and locations. So you could choose age, gender, location, and all that fun stuff.
Sounds like all of the tools that made social desirable, back when Facebook had launched their platform, is those features are now available through Instagram.
100%. And a quick tip there is Snapchat does have a pixel like Facebook, like all the other social platforms. That's how it's seeing all of the remarketing and the product feeds and all of that. But a quick tip there is it also has a Snap Pixel Helper. It's a Chrome extension. You can put it on your Chrome browser. It'll tell you if the website has a Snap Pixel on it and if it's working properly. So if you're just getting started and really want to see, hey, did I set this up correctly? Download that Chrome extension. It's going to tell you if you did or not.
That's super cool. So let's dive a little bit deeper about the sort of differentiation between Snap ads and some of these other platforms. Can you just speak to a couple of the other things that folks that are watching might want to keep in mind?
Yeah, totally. So Snapchat ads are different from other social platforms in the sense that they're 100% designed for mobile. So on Facebook and Instagram, really when you're messing around in Ads Manager, you'll see by default kind of like the desktop previews. And that's not the case at Snapchat. It's 100% mobile. So everything has to be aligned with mobile, meaning all your ads are going to be vertical on the phone. And another interesting fact about that is they're mostly native looking. So they don't really necessarily look like an ad. And you'll notice it when you're on your friend's stories and you're going through them, an ad will pop up every now and again. It might take you a second or two to realize, hey, this is an ad that's popping up here. It's not my friend's story. Because that happens to me pretty frequently. And then other than that, if you're going to use a video for your Snap ads, they're suggesting that 6 seconds is the max, whereas other platforms, 15, 30 seconds. So it's a shorter attention span where you really have to capture the person's attention within 6 seconds. So it's a very unique platform with all of that in mind.
It's awesome. So the ability to create custom audiences, create lookalike audiences, and then to show those ads in a native way is really, the difference between, success and failure.
100%. You have to know exactly what you're doing and get their attention in 6 seconds.
Yeah.
And that's that.
So who are the most likely advertisers to benefit from Snap ads?
Totally. So there's 3 sections that I'm really seeing that would benefit extremely. So one are people who have apps. So the app installs campaign works very well. It's very simple for people to install apps on that platform as compared to like Facebook or Instagram, because all they're doing is they swipe up, they see the preview, they just download right then and there, goes to whatever platform they're on, and it starts downloading. So that's the first one. The second one I'd say is e-commerce. So again, hitting up the remarketing ads and the catalog ads, having those products follow you around and uploading email lists is a huge importance there. Then the third audience would be anyone who just wants to hit up people from 15 to 34 years old. So that Gen Z and that millennial generations, this is like the perfect platform to hit them up. They're not on Facebook as much as they used to be. They're switching to different platforms like Snap. So if your audience is really based around that, and that could be like a fitness center, it could maybe be like anything that wants to go along to that specific generation, that's where they're going to be effective there.
Yeah, I mean, one of the realities of effective advertising is being able to put your messages in front of people where they spend most of their time.
Mm-hmm.
And so that transition from really what is a budget reallocation, where certain businesses were using traditional forms of advertising, billboards, newspapers, et cetera, and as things went digital, these are the types of platforms that really present the opportunity to advertisers to truly put their message in front of the target audiences, to do it natively. In other words, to do it in a way as you described it, where the user almost sees it as content that a friend would upload, is really the critical differentiator here, and why Snap is something that people need to give a try. Now, with regard to that, congratulations, because you and the LSEO paid media team, your team here at LSEO, was recently certified as a Snapchat ads manager company. I can only imagine there aren't tens of thousands of these. So if people that are watching want to give Snap a try, what would we tell them?
Yeah, sure. So they just have to hit us up. If we make them a new account, we could definitely get them a free ad spend. So basically they spend $50, they'll get $75 in free ad spend. It's enough to really test out the waters to see what's going to happen with that original $125. It's a really interesting prospect though. So we're really excited to start promoting this and really getting started on it and diving deeper into the platform.
Cool. Well, Mark, thanks for coming back on the podcast. We look forward to having you on in the future.
Totally.
And for those folks that are watching, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to seeing you in episode 11.